everyone, it's KIREI here for Hip Kit Club, and I am using the fabulous January kits. I've focused on the main kit and the embellishment kits, and I've pulled out a couple of pieces from the kit. So I've got the vellum shapes, I have got the envelope die cuts, and I've also using the basic shapes die set. Now, this is a good way to start a layout when you're sort of overwhelmed. There's lots and lots of embellishments in the kits, beautiful embellishments, but just sometimes it's just about getting a starting point. So for me, I was drawn to the envelopes and I thought I definitely need to use these. So I had the idea to do sort of a grid type layout and then fill each of the envelopes with some embellishments and my photos. So I pulled in the vellum shapes because they're so pretty and delicate. I thought they'd make really nice layers. So I'm just sort of here, just as you can see, just pulling together elements from the vellum pieces, and now I'm starting to build on that. So I'm starting to bring in some of the other embellishments that are in the kits. So I've got my starting point with the envelopes and the vellum shapes, and then now I'm building on it. So I just wanted to add some of the ephemera pieces. So I've got the floral cardstock die cuts and the regular ephemera from both of the kits, and you can see I'm working tone on tone as well, so that makes it a little easier. And then I have the pocket life kits and the die cuts, and I've just cut out all of the shapes from that because there was some elements on there that I thought would work really well as well to tuck into my little envelopes. So now I'm going to start to work on each of them. I'm going to back my photos again tone on tone. So I'm using some of the papers from the cardstock kit. And I'm just obviously going with the yellow, and I've got the orange tone here. And then I've got my other photo, which is in the sort of greeny, sagey green envelope, but it has got a pink backing to it. And I do end up going with, I looked at the tonal colours, but I did go with the pink actually. So you see I've got this sort of, it's a soft blue, but I do go with the pink actually. It works really nicely. So yeah, so happy with that. So backing each of my photos. So again, as I say, I'm sticking tone on tone with each of my little envelope embellishment clusters, if you like, and that just helps to make it easier as well. So and I will keep working on that as well. So there we go. I think I'm sort of happy with what I've got there. And then I can start to work on building each of them. So I'm just going to stick the envelopes down. And then I've got my little pocket. Now with the envelopes as well, they are double-sided. So you can absolutely change up colours if you wanted. But yeah, I went for the sort of colours because some of them are black and white prints. But I went for the colours and the florals because and so I got a balance between florals and the plainer patterns. Okay, so now here I'm just sort of having a play around, and I do fiddle around a bit, so apologies for that because it's just me. So I'm just playing around here with the ephemera pieces and the vellum pieces and just working out how I'm going to place them into my envelope, because I will stick them in there. They will be, they won't be something that I will pull out. So yeah, now I've realised I've made a mistake. I put the glue on the front and I realised I need to put the glue on the back. So, but it's double-sided, so that worked fine because it's one of the pieces that I die cut from the Pocket Life kit, so that's fine. And then I've tucked that in, and I've got the little cupcake and the little vellum circle with Better Together on. And then I'm bringing in, I've got some of the puffy embellishments now, the puffy shape. So I've got a little pink bow that I'm layering on as well. So really I'm just building on it, but what made it easier was starting with those two elements at the beginning, the envelopes and the vellum shapes, and then I worked up from there. Okay, so onto my little yellow striped envelope. This one's going to have one of my photos in it. So I've got the vellum tag that I'm going to tuck in behind, and then the little yellow bow. And then I'm just getting those stuck down. And once I'm happy with that, then that's good. And then I can add in my bow. I've got a little die cut banner there, and I'm fiddling around with where is it going to go, but I don't actually end up using it in the end. It just didn't work for me. So here we go, puffy shapes brought in. I've got the little yellow butterfly, which I'm going to pop up there, and then I realised I've got a yellow vellum heart, so I'm going to layer the bow over that. So yeah, that works. So then I can get those stuck down, and I can move on to my next envelope. So we've got the pretty green polka dot one. And then I've got the vellum shape, vellum square that actually matches it. And then I've also got the ephemera floral piece that I'm just layering into that. And then I've got the little die cut shape and the vellum circle that says this is exciting. And I'm just adding those in there. So that's how I'm building it all up. So there we go. All of them are done. And now I'm realised I just felt like I needed something more on the background. So I brought in that really lovely Scandinavian floral stencil, and I'm using the Nouveau embellishment mousse that came with the November kit. And it's just in a sort of a soft, sparkly snow type look. But I thought it just add a little bit of subtle detail in the background. And I'm not covering it totally, as you can see there. I'm just sort of using it in areas, and I will just cover almost use the area that I'm going to layer the envelopes onto. So yeah, just making sure that I'm happy with how that's looking. I'm just going to keep going here and finish off with the rest of the texture detail. And it does just add that extra element of texture in the background as well. Okay, all dry. Right, I can start to get things stuck down. So I'll get them placed over the top. And what I do realise here is that at the bottom, I don't have much of the stencil coming below my envelopes. So I do go black and I add a little bit more stenciling detail there, just a little bit, just so it peeks out. But I do that off camera. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that, and I can get the start to get them stuck down. And what you'll see is I'm double sticking as well. I've got my ATG gun, but I'm also adding a bit of wet glue as well, just because I'm sticking on top of the mousse. Now I've added a few extra elements as well. So as I've gone along with each of the pockets, I've also added some of the glitter epoxy shapes. So little circles or hearts. And yes, so again, it's really just about building up each of these envelopes until I was happy with them. So, and I kept, as I say, tone on tone pretty much. That helps to make it easier as you're working with each of them. Okay, all stuck down now. Oh no, not quite. These two. Now, then I realised I did actually want to lift the top bit. So I actually did go back and add a foam pad under the top edge of each of the envelopes. Apologies for my head there in the way. So yes, I'm just sticking these final two down. And that's pretty much done. Obviously, trusty T-square, nothing, I couldn't have anything wonky. So yeah. Okay, so then I felt like I needed something to sort of ground the layout. So I've got some of the pattern papers here, and I'm just deciding which one to stick with. And I've gone with this black and white design, which I'm really happy with. I felt like there was a little bit of black and white popping out from some of the envelopes. So I felt that was nice. So I'm just tearing off a little strip around the edges, and then I will add that black and white strips down either side. So just curling them over, getting some nice distressing in there. Again, adding another bit of texture to my layout, which I do love. And then I can get that stuck down. Now I do fiddle around with this because I core both off, and then I've got to make it a 12 by 12 again. So anyway, yeah, so I brought in another 12 by 12 and layered it, put that underneath, if you know what I mean, and then stick it down over the top of that, so that here we go. I'm not sticking it to that one. I'm just using that as my guide. Probably not the easiest way to do it, to be completely honest. But anyway, that is what I did at the time. So yeah, just getting those stuck down, and then really I'm almost there, other than adding a bit of journaling. Now there's a few areas to add my journaling, because I've got the little there's a little like journaling strip at the top, and there's a little tag in in the middle envelope, in the orange one, and there's another journaling tag down the bottom. So I'll add sort of my date and the details onto that. And then a title, and here we go. I'm just using the alpha from the main kit, and I'm just short title just down the side there, and then I am done. So yeah, I was really pleased how that came together, but felt like utilizing just a couple of elements to start with, and then building with that really helped me to pull the layout together. So yeah, bit of a tip there. Hopefully that works for you as well. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching the process video, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.